I'm Hanadie, reporting for Kids First. Today I had the pleasure of speaking with Tim Allen and Elizabeth Allen Dick about season 2 of Disney's The Santa Clauses. This dynamic duo reunites on screen as Scott Calvin, aka Santa, and Sandra Calvin Claus, bringing festive joy and familiar warmth to the North Pole. Tim Allen, celebrated for his award-winning career in acting and comedy, embodies the iconic role of Santa Claus, while Elizabeth Allen Dick continues to enchant the audiences as Santa's teenage daughter, Sandra. Okay, so my first question is for Mr. Allen. With the second season of exploring Scott Calvin's continued journey as Santa Claus, what new challenges does he face in passing on the same legacy?
Well, I have to do a job. It's still a matter of doing the job at the North Pole at the same time as managing being a dad because the kids are there. And then it's always something, isn't it? It's always something. I also have to deal with Magnus Antis, mispronounced as Mad Santa, another episode. And the elves, 800 to 900-year-old small humans or small elves, they have a different way of doing things and they like to protect Santa and push Santa around. So it's all, I have to kind of balance a lot of things.
Okay, so my next question is for Miss Elizabeth. Sharing the screen with your dad in the Santa Clauses adds a unique dynamic. How does your real life relationship with your dad influence your on screen chemistry?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, I think it influences it for the better, like most of the time, because a lot of the time when we were shooting, I had to kind of, I mean, not had to, but it was cool because I was able to not act like myself, but use some of the stuff that happens, when I'm just having a conversation with my dad at home. I was kind of able to do that in a scene. I was able to, because I play a character that's very similar to my age, and then I'm talking to my dad. It's like, oh, well, it's easy. But I also feel like at times it was harder because if my character was mad, there's some scenes where I get really mad or I'm just very, I do not want to talk to my dad, and I'm like, oh, like, no, you don't understand. It was hard at times because I was like, "Oh, I'm being so mean." Like I don't, but I think the really sentimental moments were a lot of fun to shoot.
So sometimes you can take like real life conversations and apply it to your character, and sometimes it'd be hard because you would have to get mad.
Exactly. Yep. Spot on.
So my next question is for Mr. Allen. As an executive producer for this show, how do you balance your creative input with the collaborative efforts of the production team?
It means stepping back, and I call it POV or point of view. Sometimes I have to stand back, even with the costume on, and I said, where does this land? So I have some place to put my foot down. Meaning that I always like things to have some sort of organic quality to it, and it took a lot of me resting and looking out, and all I do is look at the big picture, and literally it involves several layers. How is the production crew being taken care of? First off, how are they all working? Because without them working well, none of what we do on the camera works well. And then sometimes it was very, very daunting because I'd get out of my character and then I got to get in this red suit and actually be Santa Claus. So that's a good question, and it's a layered answer.
So it was a great answer. So my next question is for Miss Elizabeth. How does the series capture the spirit of Christmas for you?
I love Christmas, so shooting this was just so much fun. But I feel like every one of my favorite aspects of Christmas was portrayed in the series. Like shooting it in March was kind of weird because you're like, okay, it's like Christmas passed, and now you're like, it's springtime, and you're like, oh, well, I guess we're doing Christmas again, which was great for me because it's my favorite holiday. But every single day there was something that I was like, oh, like I can't wait for it to come out and it's gonna be Christmas. And but yeah, I feel like there was so many amazing parts of it that just kind of made me so happy because it was like, oh, there's Christmas trees and I'm in the North Pole, and it's like, so yeah, it was amazing.
It's like wherever you looked, you just saw Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. That's pretty much what it was.
So my last question is for Mr. Allen. From Home Improvement to Toy Story and everything in between, you create characters and leave an incredible mark. What's your secret for creating constantly iconic characters?
It's all about the writer, the director, and who shoots it. I'll give them that. And certainly about the words that put it down there. I believe that I have been graced with characters that have a sense of humor about themselves and are very flawed, much like myself. And I'm able to express that. And because of that, I can rise above myself. And I said, in all these characters, I applaud that they find their way to a rise above the natural failings of being a human being.
Well, thank you so much. This has been an amazing interview. Thank you guys so much for talking with me. The Santa Clauses is streaming right now on Disney+.